details of where we are in a European sense. Our country is still spending 11 billion more than we're taking in. Nobody is going to come in from Europe and write a cheque for that amount. We have to sort that out ourselves. And that means restructuring the ways we do business in Ireland. It means cutting out waste. It means cutting out inefficiency. It means cutting out incompetency. It means being far more effective in the way that we use taxpayers' money for the services that people deserve and that people expect. On the other hand, as members of the European Union, as one of 27, and within that 27, as one of the 17, which is the Eurozone, where we use the euro as a common currency, numbers of these countries have problems also. And that means that leaders among themselves have to trust and believe in each other that they'll actually do what they say they do. And that's why it's taken a lot of argument, a lot of negotiation, a lot of complex and technical discussions to get to a point where Europe now appreciates and understands and has decided to break the link between sovereign debt and bank debt, and that Ireland will benefit from that when that decision is implemented. That decision was made on the 29th of June in Brussels by the leaders of the 27 countries, one of whom was myself, because our country was the first out the gap with a burden of 60 billion on its back on top of the national debt, which has made it challenging for our people. And it's in that challenge that the real opportunity for the future comes. And congratulate Jim Boland. I also congratulate him on the wonderful grandchildren he is here. Because what we're trying to do at home is to give our country back to the people, to give an opportunity to have a platform for a future for those young people, the students who are out here from Achill listening for their cultural, traditional, literary exchange. They will benefit from this connection, from this new understanding, from the broadening of their minds and the horizons. And I know deep down inside myself that when Ireland puts its mind to a task, nothing will stop the Irish when we're on our game. As Katie Taylor proved last year, the first time in 100 years, the reigning monarch of England, Queen Elizabeth II, came to visit the Republic formally as a head of state. And while the Irish people were reticent from the beginning about appearing on the streets, by the time Her Majesty left Cork, people were ecstatic at the new relationship that had evolved. I tell you, it was as powerful a moment when she stood with our then President Mary McAleese at the Garden of Remembrance in Parnell Square and gave her royal nod of assent to those in recognition who had fought and died and rebelled for Ireland over the centuries. Follow that by her standing at the Island Bridge Memorial to those who fought and died for the freedom of small nations and for king and country in World War I, who fell in Flanders Field, in the Somme, and so many other areas, who were not recognised by our own country when the survivors came back for what they had done. And that's a period of our history that's been closed, and that circle was closed by the Queen. And that was... that's brought to a new level now, because this year I signed a strategic partnership agreement the British Prime Minister in Downing Street, in the same place as the treaty negotiations took place way back in the 20s. We have 45,000 members of the Irish community on the boards of British companies. And we set up for the first time ever a new British-Irish Chamber of Commerce, where trade either way is absolutely flying, and the positivity is enormous. And 400 people out there, occasion in Dublin just a fortnight ago. And the same applies here in the United States. Because I was able to come out and talk to American business, American investors, and say, now actually is the best time for you to invest in our country. And don't just take my word for it. Take the word of Bill Clinton, President of the United States, who in February this year in New York said, look at that country. They've got the best demographics of any country in Europe for the next 25 years. and put that together with their package of tax, talent, technology and track record, and you will not beat it anywhere. And the consequence of that has been renewed investment in Ireland, renewed interest in Ireland, and therefore that's why I want to thank Cuyahoga and Ohio for what they're doing in terms of our organisations in opening those doors. For me, as head of government, it's not about trappings of office, it's about using the mandate given by the people to open the doors for business and opportunity. We had 6 banks, we now have 2 pillar banks. We had to downsize them, change the boards, get rid of the perks, put in public interest people, get new lending requirements, put in the regulator, have proper regulation of these systems, and hope that through this process we can deal with a situation where those banks can go back to private banking and be able to do what they should have been doing in the first place, lend properly to people, control their lending, and not have a situation where many people trying to get rid of it. We take up the presidency of the European Union on the 1st of January for 6 months. That means that as head of government, I have to go to the Far East, South America, come back here to the United States, and deal with our European connections and our European context, which is important, of course, in Ireland's national interest as well. One of the things that's very important for us in Ireland, as you know, in County Mayo, as you know, is the Common Agricultural Policy. We export over 8 billion worth of food and drink at the moment. The Kerry Group invested 100 million this week in a new facility in Naas, County Kildare, which will be a global enterprise for people from all over the world, blue chip companies, to come and do research and innovation on food and flavourings and nutritious elements and all of that. Become a magnet for people from around the globe. We also, this week, just extended the remit of Paddy Powers, for instance, an Irish company, global reach, betting and all of that. They got 600 new young people. What do? Mathematics, quantum physics, e-commerce, management, fraud, debt restrictions, everything to do with numbers and probabilities. All the young people, the vast majority will be from our own schools and our own institutions. I recognise NUIG down here. Dr. Jim Brown, a good friend of mine, is a great university. I had the privilege last year of opening the new engineering facility in National University of Ireland in Galway. Magnificent premises. That is a university on the west coast where he wasn't as fluent enough with the language as he might be. It was the greatest cluster of medical device companies in Europe is on the fringes of Galway and Mayo. Next year, I hope that with NUIG, with the College of the Institute of Education, with the Marine Institute, which is out in Oranmore, the European Commission, to launch a new start of a plan for integrated analysis of the Atlantic Ocean with impact on America and on Europe. Ireland is geographically so well spaced here, we've done so much work. Instead of turning our backs on the ocean, we need to turn our face there because of the research and the gifts that it gives in a God-given way every day for so many of our people. Let me say this. I know I'm in the centre of the world here in Cleveland. This is the centre of the world today. Clearly, it's dangerous for politicians to get up when there are elections being conducted any place around the world, but the one that you're having here in the United States is obviously of such importance for the future of the world that it's an issue that people will want to consider very carefully what they do. I will say this. Last year, as part of the movement for Ireland, President Obama and his First Lady came through Ireland on their way to Britain, and they received an enormous reception on the basis of a determination of his Irish roots at that time. I discussed with the President the question of corporation tax rates, the question of further investment in our country, and the issues that surround all of that. So I'd just like to say that when you see Dr. Kavanagh down here from Hollister, I went up to Chicago and called at their premises when I was there some months ago. These are people who do enormous good for our country, both at home and abroad. I see all of the others whom I met in the Cleveland Clinic yesterday and the wonderful work that they do. They really are a credit in building a global institution with ramifications worldwide. It's a credit to be associated with that. And I'd just like to say, I just want you to know that the trade between both our countries is going to be brought to a new level if I have my way, because as the President of the Council, when we start the process of the presidency on the 1st of January, we're going to discuss the question of new trade relationships between the European Union and the United States, because that holds enormous potential for those who will come after us in the decades ahead. When we start that process, I believe there should be free trade between the two greatest trading blocs on the planet, the United States and the European Union. We'll start that process. So, you've heard about the gathering of 2013. What they're saying to you really is, get over there. I don't care whether it's for a birthday party, or a christening, or a family reunion, or a sporting occasion. We'll talk about that later. Or other things that might matter to you. Make it a working holiday, make it vacation and business, because it's a real opportunity to do something, not only to interest yourself in our country, but to help in so many ways. And for young Irish Americans, I think it's important that they have a sense of place as to where their antecedents came from, and I know that they'll be interested in that. Some of the things that are happening over there, I see there's a film, the cultural festival in honour of Grace Kelly, whose people came from outside Newport, County Mayo. There's the, listen to this one, there's the Love in the Loom. You know what that is? Love in the Loom, and I'll tell you what it is. Foxford Woolen Mills are going to allow everybody to weave a thread in a special loom down there that they've created. So if you're passing through where Admiral Brown came from, you can drop in there and weave your thread on a special gathering 2013 tapestry that they're going to make for walking festivals and everything else. Probably the greatest one for you, though, is that I bring you greetings from the county manager of the football team, James Horan, who said that his team are going to give it a lash again in 2013. 900,000 people turn out for the Volvo races in Galway. A million turn out to see the tall ships in Dublin. We've had so many opportunities, and I'm glad to see the interest from Cleveland and Ohio being so strong as it is. 35,000 came for the Notre Dame game versus the Navy in the Aviva Stadium in Dublin. I understand that Notre Dame won this evening in the last few seconds in overtime. I spoke to Mayor Jackson this morning about the Browns here. They're going to come back as well. So, let me say this now. I'm going home tonight actually to leave here. We've got more work to do tomorrow for Ireland in Mayo. Let me say this. The Mayo Society of Greater Cleveland is something that I admire, I'm associated with, and I'm proud to serve here this evening again at this podium. I've told the story out at the garden today. The last time I came here to speak at this function, in 2005 I think it was, my baggage went astray at O'Hare Airport, the baggage went to Jamaica, I came to Cleveland. I had no dicky bow or no suit. So the suit I was wearing was dark enough, and I think it was Jerry Quinn picked me up and said, "Shall I get your shirt?" Where did we go? Chambers' the shooter at home. And he was only gone for 3 or 4 minutes, and he came out with a shirt. It wasn't even in the bag. And the buttons were all open on it. And they were on this shirt, the neck was about 20 inches. I think he took it off the remains in Chambers' funeral home, I'm not too sure. When I spoke at the function anyway, I had to begin by saying, well, they say in America, dead men tell no tales. Here's one who's going to speak. So now, for your a day's reflection, no doubt you can go down there to Keene Bay, or back to Dugart, or over to Duiga, or down by Bunnacurry. You can call into Lourdes, though she won't be there, only in spirit. You go down to Keene or Dugart or wherever you want. These are places that are so important, as Pat Kilban said, between Ballycroy and Newport and Achill. This society here in Cleveland, it is a home from home. I think Jerry traced for me the development of the Irish from the river back, when I was here on the last occasion, the development of the churches, from small to medium to large cathedral, reflecting the evolution of Irish participation in society here in the US. Let me just finish on this. 10th of November, in Ireland, we're going to allow the people to ask a question about values, and that value is about children. One of the things I was happy to do in becoming Taoiseach was to appoint a Minister for Children. God knows there's a litany of shame in a number of areas over the last years. That's been rectified. We're going to insert into our Constitution a specific provision, a special article titled Children, dealing with their rights and their protection, because for too long children were seen, not heard, and had their stories been listened to, that litany might not be the way that it was. We'll rectify it. Hopefully the people will answer a resounding yes in terms of that statement of values about what is our most precious commodity, and that's our children. So, the Irish journey is, as you know, a journey of transformation. So when you go back for the gathering in 2013, and you look at the Atlantic Ocean, you can say, you recall my words, when I was first appointed as Taoiseach, I said that our horizons are never fixed. We take them with us as we go. And because we do, we are never done. And for that reason, Ireland's best days are up ahead of us.